Okay, you're all set to begin.
Thank you very much. I'll call the Monday, August 15th, 2022 meeting of the Community Preservation Committee to order. And I'll call the roll. Terry Duenas.
Here.
Marilyn Fifield.
Here.
Deb Converse.
Here.
Catherine Garofoli. Catherine, can we hear you?
Just logged in.
She's there. I can see her. Steve Robichaud, he's here.
Yes, here. Thank you.
Steve Tenalia will be missing the meeting, and Lindsay Council is here.
You didn't call me.
Tom Lee.
Barney
Lewis.
Here.
I'm sorry. I'm using a marked up list. Anyway.
Okay.
So everyone is here that said they would be. That's great. Please note that tonight's meeting is recorded and broadcast on Channel 18, and in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20, the chair must inquire whether anyone is taping this meeting and to please make their presence known. Seeing none, we'll move to the items on the agenda. First item is the approval of the draft Community Preservation regular meeting minutes from July 18th, 2022. Everyone had a chance to look them over? Anyone got a motion?
Marilyn, I would move to approve them.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the meeting minutes from July 18th, 2022. Any further discussions? Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Terry Duenas.
Yes.
Marilyn Fifield.
Yes.
Deb Converse.
Jane.
Catherine Garofoli.
Yes.
Tom Lee.
Yes.
Barley Lewis.
Yes.
Stephen Robichaud.
Yes.
And Lindsay Council votes yes. Very good. All right, first item of business we have is an application from Sturgis Library has requested that the CPC consider allowing the use of a portion of the $165,000 CPC grant awarded for the replacement of a climate control unit. The roofing project, architectural costs and repair, instead of replacement of the main entrance. All costs less than the original budget, resulting in $40,000 in unspent CPC funds. The estimate for the replacement of the climate control unit is $33,204. And I believe Lucy Loomis is here to go over this great savings. Go ahead, Lucy.
Unmute yourself. Oh.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for your funding in the past. Yeah, we amazingly, in this era of inflation and long waits for equipment and supplies, are under budget. We were able to save money on the roof by not having to put an underlayment under the cedar shingles. It seems like our old, probably 1700s era wood under there was intact and beautiful, so they didn't need to do that. As Lindsay said, we didn't have to replace our entry door. We just had to repair it. And there were some other savings that we saw that allowed us to be, $40,000 under budget, essentially. But in the meantime, we've had our HVAC people come in and look at our climate control system. You guys had funded some of the work on our new archives, but at the time that we put the new archives in, we did not replace the climate control system because it was relatively new at that point. But it is now, between 12 and 14 years old. They're having trouble getting parts for it. And, it's astonishing that these things happen, but, and it's essential for our archives, safety and to make sure that that unit will not break down. So as Lindsay mentioned, I got estimates. And I'm sorry, I got an estimate from our service provider, and clearly we'll get several other estimates just in case, but our service provider is they've worked with us for 15 years and they are very reliable. So that was the estimate they came up for, replacing like with like, probably a better system that will make sure that we can keep that climate control exactly where it needs to be for temperature and humidity.
That it?
Yep. If people have questions, please.
Go right ahead. Anyone with the questions?
I got a question.
Go right ahead, Tom.
Under your proposal from the contractor, under the assumption it mentioned the repair to any existing ductworks, piping, or line voltage electrical services above scope of the work is excluded. Do you know whether you need to tackle this problem or not?
So yeah, that's probably something we need to get more information about, because the unit itself is ducted into water so that any humidity and condensation can be ducted out of the building,
Right.
as well as it's connected to our alarm system, so that if there's any water or problems in that area, that we would be able to detect it. So we would also need to get an estimate from our alarm company just to see if there's going to be any change in that. I don't anticipate that particularly. I mean, we've got all the ducting in there. We've got the connection to the alarm system already in place. So my thinking is that if we did need to do some work on that, it's going to be minimal. But I can certainly get back to you. We just, trying to get this together for this meeting. That's the estimate that we have just for the replacement of the unit.
Right, but I think you should get a quotations from the electrical to see how much extra work that you should be included in here, because if it is only a few grand or $5 grand, you may be able to cover this under this 40,000.
Right. So we should get estimates from electrical and our alarm company to where there's no use needed.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Anyone else? Stephen?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the same thing as Tom. Tom, thank you for asking that. I thought that was a great question. I think that, they may be able to, via, a simple phone call or a second site visit, determine if there are any extras that may pop up, any surprises. Obviously, if this is a like-for-like unit, you would think that the electrical and everything would be sufficient. But certainly, it's good to see that there's a little wiggle room. There's 40,000 remaining, and potentially, if those did pop up, you'd still have a little wiggle room there. That is one benefit, though, of getting a second estimate. Is that second estimate may shed some light on any potential surprises. Do you plan to get a second estimate? That's part of your process?
Lindsay, I think it's required. Is it required or suggested? I mean, my preference would be to go with our provider who knows our system so well, but I'm happy to get additional estimates if needed.
And I do agree with going with the current provider. I think that makes sense.
Right.
My second question is just, if you provide a deposit and sign contract, does that lock this price in? I had to chuckle a little bit looking at the 48-week lead time.
I know.
Certainly that's, I know these particular units, it's challenging, but some companies, when they order the unit, they lock in the price.
Right.
Other companies are not able to, and the price changes based on the date of delivery. Do you happen to know how this works?
I don't off the top of my head, but I will certainly ask that question. Yeah.
Because I can just say from experience that within 48 weeks, you can see the price go up 50%,
Right.
just with the extreme volatility out there. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Anyone else? Seeing none, this would require a motion to move this to town council. Anyone have a motion?
Do we want to move it yet, Lindsay? Because there's some numbers that still need to be gotten, right?
It's up to you folks. You want to get,
I can definitely get you some better numbers in the next few weeks. Oh, I'm sorry, not the next few weeks because I'll be in California, but depending on what town council meeting you want to take it to, I can try to get those in September and maybe shoot for the October town council meeting.
we can do that. We are a little backed up. We have a couple ahead of you for the town council, so it wouldn't be any loss of time if we were to look into this again in September and get final numbers, and then we could send it along then.
Great.
That work for everybody?
Yes.
Great.
Sounds good. All right. We'll see you back in September, Lucy. Thank you very much for your hard work on this.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate your support.
You're more than welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item is correspondence, which we received none for the month, right, Alan? Nothing came in to us. Next, we have project updates. Let's see. We did forward the application of the Department of Public Works for the Zion Museum. That's one of the items that'll be coming up before the town council. And Cotuit Federated Church, the Barnstable Little League, both did get approved by council. The Little League will be drafting a user agreement in the with the town. So that one will be moving forward when that occurs. Probably the biggest item for the month is the Barnstable Historic Society Historic Preservation has been completed and recorded, actually, which is quite a milestone. That one took quite some time, so their funding would now be available. And that's great. Midpoint Housing, we haven't heard anything from the trust on that. We did have the application from the Unitarian Church of Barnstable, and they will be back in the September meeting, I believe, Alan, is that correct? Okay. Let's see. Tales of Cape Cod will also be back for their request at the September meeting. And we did have to get a sign out on the alterations that the Tales of Cape Cod is requesting, and that's been put through the process. So those approvals have been received. Also coming back for the September meeting will be the trustees of reservations, and they want to produce the draft recreation easement for that project. And we're hoping to see also DPW back with the Osterville Recreation Playground. That field is looking good over there. They completed that in the last few weeks. So that's looking really good over there. And that playground will be a real addition for the village. And Marston Hills Community Church, we still haven't heard back from them. We're looking to have them sometime in the fall, I believe. Okay, any questions on any of that? Did I miss anything? Terry, your microphone.
There we go. I got it.
Yep.
Lindsay, what on the Little League project, what type of restriction was finally agreed upon that the Little League is going to have to incorporate?
They haven't submitted anything. I think they're just wrapping up their season, so I don't expect to see them till after Labor Day.
Okay. Yeah.
But they'll have to work something out with David Anthony, and that'll be a user agreement more than anything on that.
Oh, okay.
So once we get that, we can, give the manager a heads up, and that project can go forward.
Great.
Lindsay,
Stephen?
the midpoint community housing, are those updates going to be coming at the next meeting, do you think?
I have no idea. I don't know what the status. Ellen, do you have any update on that?
We have not been, there hasn't been discussion about that. It hasn't been on any of the trust agendas. So I'm not up to date on it. I don't know what's happening behind the scenes there.
Perhaps you could check on it for us, Ellen,
Sure.
with the trust, and see if they want to give us a heads up on that.
Sure, I will.
Yeah, Lindsay, we had a planning board presentation from, I believe it was Ryan Bennett. Just general state of the housing situation, I guess, in the town. And I thought it was great. It was quick. You know, it was only 20 minutes, had a great discussion. So maybe she could do the same presentation to this board. She's got the PowerPoint ready to go, so.
That would be great. Ellen, could you see if she'd want to repeat that for us? That'd be great.
Was it a housing presentation?
It was, yes.
Housing? Okay.
And certainly you could coordinate with Kate Maldonado or Jim Cupper. They
Okay.
helped us kind of set it up.
Anything else? Questions? All right. I'll open it now to public comment. Anyone have any comment? Gordon, being the only public present. Okay. Any other items members would like to discuss under general items? Seeing none, we'll go to member discussions. We still have to have our election of officers. Can we schedule that for like the September meeting? Hopefully we'll all be here, but how about that? Would that work for everyone?
Sure.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
Sounds great.
Also, too, we need to decide we want to stay in Zoom for the September meeting, right? General consensus was that Zoom worked for the majority?
Yes.
Everyone
Works
agreed?
for me.
Okay. I know Marilyn favors that format, so
Yes, thank you.
you're welcome. And then coming then to Alan's begun to update the handbook. She's got the fonts that match our plan, and we'll try to get that finished. I think our deadline on that was Labor Day. So if you've got any pictures or have any hot suggestions for nifty content in the handbook, that would be appreciated. Anything else, members? None? We're
Nope.
good?
Yep.
All right, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second?
Second.
Moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. Discussion? I'll call the roll. Terry Duenas,
Yes.
Marilyn Fifield,
Yes.
Deb Converse,
Yes.
Catherine Garofoli,
Yes.
Tom Lee,
Yes.
Farley Lewis,
Yes.
Stephen Robichaud,
Yes.
Lindsay Council votes yes. Thank you, folks. Great meeting. And we'll see you guys in September.
Sounds great. Thank you.